Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, everyone. Welcome to session AE in the application development track for the 2025 virtual GSE. Roland is happy to take questions as he progresses through the slide deck. So if you want to put something in the chat, I'll be monitoring that and we'll interrupt Roland and get some hot off the press information. So Roland, if you are ready, then I'll go on mute and take myself off video and let you do your thing. Thank you.
Yep, thank you. Thanks, Stuart. So my name is Roland Koo. I lead the product management team for compilers and enterprise products on zOS for IBM. And today I'm just going to go through the compiler portfolio because we do have some very exciting new products that we actually are working on and want to share that information with you today. So when we look at the portfolio, traditionally we only have like COBOL, automatic binary optimizer, PL1, assembler, and C and C++, right? And also some Java. But lately we have extended the language portfolio to also cover Node.js, Python, and Go, right? For just to make sure that we have to make sure that we increase the options for modernizing applications on zOS. We also recently have put together something called the Open Enterprise Foundation for zOS, which is really a set of open Linux-like tools that we enable on zOS to enable modern development. And the new products that we have put together, or new capabilities that we have put together, is COBOL Upgrade Advisor, which is a tool that can help customers upgrade from earlier version of COBOL to version 6. I'm going to go over, give an introduction later on, but we're excited to have announced this product this month, and it's going to be becoming available soon. And about 9 months ago, we introduced something called Code Optimization Advice capability within, Watson Code Assistant for Z. And this is also a product that customers can use to improve the performance of their COBOL applications as well. I'm going to go over that briefly as well in this presentation. So when we talk about modernizing applications on zOS, we're really talking about 2 or 3 things here, right? First of all, we think that optimization is very important. You need to optimize existing applications because you wanted to make sure that all the applications are running optimally on the platform. And the easiest way to do it is to stay current with the hardware, middleware, zOS, and also compilation technologies, right? And then with modernization, of course, we're talking about extending capabilities for business critical applications. We do it in 2 ways, right? Every compiler product that we ship, like COBOL, PL1, C and C++, Java, we always put in new language features in there as well. And then we also have introduced the new IBM Open Enterprise Languages, which is really enabling Node.js, Python, and Go on the platform, because these products, these languages actually have a very, very rich ecosystem of packages that you can actually make use as well on the zOS platform. And the way that we do it is really, when we enable these languages, we're doing a full enablement, and we also stay current with the open source community. So you'll never be, be out of date or anything like that on the mainframe. And Watson Code Assistant for Z is really something that we announced about a year and a half ago, and it is a product that has many capabilities to help customers modernize their application. And also, if you are already running Node.js, Python, and Go or Java applications on other platforms, but these applications need to interact with critical data and applications on zOS, enabling these languages on zOS would actually help you co-locate these, the applications together to optimize the response time and throughput as well. So let's take a look at COBOL, right? COBOL is very unique on the IBM Z platform because it is the only platform where the compiler team works very closely with the hardware team, right, to jointly work on improving the performance of COBOL workload. COBOL workload is very important on zOS because over 80% of our customers run COBOL applications, and these applications are critical to their business, right? So as you can see in this chart that, for the past 6 generations of hardware, we have basically put out a lot of the new facility in the hardware itself, we call hardware features, right, to improve the performance, which is totally designed, with one goal in mind, is to improve the performance of COBOL applications. And if you look at the COBOL releases and the automatic binary optimizer releases that is associated with the hardware, these are the levels that you need to use to be able to take advantage of these new hardware features, right? And I said this is unique because it is not, it is really, something that we know that, we're doing on a Z and no other platforms as well. So remember that applications that are compiled with older versions of the COBOL compiler cannot take full advantage. So basically, you're just running in compatibility mode, but you want to exploit the new hardware features and get the best value of your hardware. It'll be, the best thing to do is to stay current with the COBOL compiler and upgrade the compiler and recompile some part of your code as you move, as you're upgrading your hardware. So we all know that we have announced the Z17 lately, and there is a new release of COBOL compiler that's that also we also have announced in conjunction with the hardware, and that is COBOL 6.5. It has capabilities to fully support the Z17 architecture. The new facility that we put in there is called Vector Packed Decimal Facility 3. So we know that some customers are, wants their code to be safe, so they would like to, run their code with numcheck always on. So if you have, invalid data or something like that, it'll get flagged right away, rather than, having to deal with maybe, bad results and things like that. So we have reduced overhead for running this in case if you want that safety, right? And also, we also have some new instructions there to speed up binary computations as well. Another feature that we put in is vSANDB support. This is a NoSQL database. So basically now COBOL applications can deal with, can handle unstructured data and can process them as well. So this is something that we added in, for this release. And since last release, we're actually adding, trying to add in more COBOL, COBOL language features that are more friendly to the younger developers or new developers trying to learn COBOL. We started with user-defined functions. Now we're extending it to user-defined types. And eventually, we're going to be looking at type defs and stuff like that. So this is something that we're going to be looking on, as well. And we made some improvement to smart bin, or that's the metadata that ABO and other tools may be using to understand or to optimize the performance of COBOL code without recompilation. So I mentioned something about automatic binary optimizer. This is a tool where, because we know that customers don't really compile 100% of their code all the time, and very seldom customers would actually, do a clean compile for their COBOL code, because there's a lot of COBOL, because COBOL applications are usually very large, right? So ABO is really there to help customers get a quick performance boost without having to upgrade or recompile the code, right? It is a binary optimizer. So what you can do is you can actually get equivalent performance, just like the compiler can give you, for not having to recompile the code, and therefore you can significantly reduce the testing effort. as I said, the recommendation here, is that, because ABO and COBOL compilers are complementary, the recommendation is to use the COBOL compiler, COBOL 6 version 6 compiler, the latest compiler to as a production compiler for new code or code that you're maintaining, and use ABO to improve the performance of code that is not regularly updated. From working with our customers, we found out that only a very small part of the application is being recompiled. It's about 20% of them. So the majority of the code is not recompiled. So if you want to improve the performance of this code, ABO would be the right thing to use. I want to talk a little bit about the Watson Code Assistant. As I said, like the Watson Code Assistant is designed to improve the the way that you do modernization, right? Start with understand and then refactor, and then you want to transform some of the code to Java. You can do that with Gen AI help, and also you can validate the translated code. But code optimization advice is a very unique piece of technology that we put into Watson Code Assistant for Z, because it has ability to monitor the run for you. It actually profiles your run, and then it provides performance insight for you. Like lately, we have actually put in something called statement performance table, which basically you can actually see each statement, what CPU usage, what kind of CPU usage you're looking at, right? And also it would do deep analysis and identify performance issues in your source, right? And then through the VS Code interface and Open Editor, you can actually look at those reports and see the performance issues. And it also not just giving you insight and issues, but it also provides actionable recommendations, so you can actually follow to fix the problem, right? So this is really something that we can help customers, get the performance issues out of the way before code goes into production. So in a way that this is really a very good tool to shift left your performance testing. The idea here is that if we do this proactively, that means that we can prevent performance problems from before they reach production. So that will be a lot easier to handle than after production, which really is a very stressful job at that time.
Roland, sorry to interrupt. You've got a couple of reminders that are just obscuring some of the presentation.
Oh. Oh, okay, sorry.
That's no problem. And there is a question from Atul. Does the Code Assistant send my code outside my firewall for analysis, or can it be done in the data center?
Okay, so basically what it does is like you need the program to run, right, for a period of time so that we can collect the statistics. So if the program is actually doing data center, then that's really where you will be collecting the data, so that after the code optimization advice generates the report, which is in some form of JSON, then you can actually use VS Code to view that. So yeah, it is really running on the system that you run your application on. So it could be at the data center, it could be somewhere you test. We're basically recommending that you run this thing while you're testing in a test environment rather than a production environment.
And Atul, we've actually got a deeper dive on the Watson Code Assistant later in the GSE agenda. Joe Taff-Atkins is doing a deeper dive, so if you can catch that one, that thing, then you might be able to zoom in on that particular question. Okay. Thank you, Roland.
Thank you. So really this has two components. One is the component that I said that runs on the zOS environment, and the other one is a client component. So what we call is the engine that does all the analysis and monitoring and all that. And after it does it, then it will just produce a report, and then you can pick it up in VS Code and open editor so that you can actually scroll through the report and look at the recommendations, and you can actually action on those recommendations as well. So really, currently it only supports batch applications at this time. We're looking at adding online environments to it, but we're not there yet. So it will, what you require is to produce listings and AData information, right? So after that, then you can kick it off, and then the tool will enable the profiling, and then you just run the application as business as usual, and then the engine will do the analysis, and after that, then it will generate a JSON file that you can actually look at, in your VS Code environment. So there's another new product called the COBOL Upgrade Advisor. As I said earlier, is that most of the problems that we look at upgrade, the challenge is really not in the syntax itself. It is really in the execution environment, right? So the problems that we find, like the application is perfectly, the syntax is perfectly fine, but it's really when you pass through the data, then you can actually find some issues there. And so Upgrade Advisor is to help you accelerate and simplify the upgrade process to COBOL 6. And also, in fact, is if we really step back and think about this, right? A lot of that is because of the not so good programming practices that has creeped into the code, over a long period of time. Right, so you can actually look at this as you can also look at this as a tool to clean up the code so that we can you can help you better modernize it, or help you with the modernization effort or even maintenance effort, right? So the first phase that we actually put it with the first release is to give you a insight on your inventory, because a lot of customers don't even know what's running on their system. They know there's a bunch of source, but what's actually running on the system. Upgrade Advisor will be able to help you with your inventory. Basically, it will package it nicely and give you a report on that, and then it will do a readiness assessment, and then they'll tailor the compiler option so you can actually run it. And then in the later roadmap, we're going to be able to automate some of those activities for you moving forward. So there is a session that it's on the in this conference on COBOL Upgrade Advisor. It's on May 1st, and it's 1:45 to 2:30 there. If you wanted to know a little bit more, you can probably catch that session. PL1 is still very strategic to us, and with the new release of PL1, the previous release we commented up the optimization framework with COBOL, and this one we actually are using the comment up framework to also support the new facilities that we are putting into the Z17. And for PL1, the biggest feature that we put in is 16-byte integers. That's really required by some users, and it can be supported in all places where all the 1, 2, 4, or 8-byte integers have been supported. And also we added some new date-time functions there as well. There's also some ideas that's generated by the community. And for customers who are trying to enable new developers on PL1, we actually have put together a course, and we provide a new PL1 language batch, and here's the QR code for it. It's absolutely free, and we actually have a lot of customers have been through it, and the feedback has been pretty good. For C and C++, we're looking at we basically have made a decision a few years back to basically leverage the open source infrastructure with Clang and LLVM. So the good thing about that is that because C++ is moving very fast in terms of language features, right? So it's almost impossible for us to catch up if we have to re-implement everything in our own, parser and all that. So, embracing the framework will give us that, those language features. And it also gives us the ability to do what we do best, right? Is to exploit the platform. So the new release here with 2.1, we added, but LLVM only supports 64 bits, right? So they don't have 32-bit support. So we added 32-bit support because we know that, there's a lot of C++ applications that are on zOS that are, that Sony supporting 32 bits, and they're non-XP link and all that. So we put all that support back into the platform. And we also enable it for JCL compilation as well. Previously, it's 64-bit only, and it can only run on the USS side. So this is something that we put in a lot of features so that customers can actually use it on the zOS platform. Want to clarify a little bit about the offering. C++ is really a feature of the operating system. It remains a feature of the operating system. So the old compiler is there, and the old compiler is the enablement, license enablement for the OpenXL, which is the LLVM enabled compiler, right? So that's going to remain there, and we actually introduced something called 241, which is a hybrid compiler, which uses the open source front end, but it uses the IBM backend. So that product has been withdrawn because we're now fully enabled with LLVM, client front end and LLVM backend, right? And then we added in 31-bit support. We added JCL support as well. So this is really the product that we have, the 2.1 product. And this would replace the 241, right? I mean, you shouldn't be using the 241 anymore. But we also understand that if you use the new languages, a lot of the there might be some dependencies with C and C++ compiler to help install the packages and things like that. Like, for example, Python, Node, Go, and all these languages. So we put together a new feature, a new product there, a supporting product that is free of charge, that supports, if you use in conjunction with these, with these new languages, and you use it to support the, the usage of these new languages, this compiler it has no charge to it. But it's not used, it's not meant for application development. For the application development, you still have to go and purchase the OpenXL C and C++.
Roland, there's a question from Max.
Right.
Do you have any idea of what the uptake is for the new languages on Z, such as Node, Python, and Go? Are there any heavy users yet, or are you still waiting for people to capitalize?
Yeah, we do have a lot of usage. Actually, IBM is one of the biggest user. For Go, for example, our new container runtime is actually written in Go, and we enable it using our own compiler product. Python is almost like everywhere, like for use with Ansible, with automation, with and also with the push for the AI ML side. We also have. I'm going to go through it later, but the uptake is very, very, very high. Node.js customers are using it for, one customer is using it, to write Kix applications, and also using it for reporting, generating very fast reports, and doing some API orchestration as well. So it's uptaking, and Go is getting very popular. Customers are still kicking the tires mostly, but with the container runtime that we did, we demonstrated that's really a very efficient compiler. So now a lot of customers are interested in it. So we're actually having a lot of discussion with our customers right now.
Hope that answers your question, Max. Thank you, Roland.
Thank you. So similar runtime, I think we have a couple of Java. Similar runtime is really Java on zOS. We rebranded it when we came out with Java 11 implementation. So right now the latest release is 21. And the Java the Java compiler now is not just in language anymore. It's also comes with a lot of security providers and all that stuff. So basically, that is really the new direction for Java. And we want to make sure that we come up with the latest, not just the language, but also the security providers and those security packages as well. So we announced we GA'd 20 version 21 in November, and it remains no charge. The workload is zip offloadable, and we have a new push for customers upgrade from version 8 to 21. The reason is because 8 is going out of service in September of 2026. So if you haven't started yet, maybe it's a good time to think about it and get started. To help you, we have these new portals, the Java SDK and Summer Runtime on zOS upgrade portal. That's really something new that we put together. And we also know that with WCA for Z or Watson Code Assistant for Z, there might be some translation, from COBOL to Java. And we also have this interoperability portal that we put together to help you interoperate your new Java code with COBOL as well. So I wanted to talk a little bit about this because when we look at the life cycle here, if you look at Java 8, it has a very, very long life cycle, and we have a late start into Java 11. If you look at the orange arrow, we have a very long lead time before we actually have an implementation on zOS. And if you look at down to 17 and 21, we're shrinking that because we wanted to make sure that we are very current with the open source community. The reason is because Java, a lot of it is actually driven by other platforms onto Z, right? So we want to make sure that we have the right hopefully day one implementation of Java on a Z platform, so customers don't have to deal with two releases, the older release on Z and the newer release on the other platform. So we'll just want to make sure that they can all be available together. And we're really trying to shrink the enablement time for Java, and we are basically making progress. And if you look at the release that we have in the Java community for Java 21, we actually have shrunk it to within a few months, right? So we still are working on shrinking that as well. So when we came up with older, Java 11, Java 17, we also figured out that we actually have a lot of internal dependencies that we need to deal with, right? So we were not, ready. When we're 11, 17, all these middleware support and all these support that we needed came in pretty late. So we tried to fix that, and I'm happy to report that with Xamarin 21, we actually have almost all of the middleware and everybody supporting 21 when it became available. So we also are trying to make sure that we are on the right track in terms of Java. So we have currently we are having a Xamarin on zOS survey. Here's a link. I'm going to be uploading this chart. So please, if you're a Java user and you want to share some of your comments or you want to shape the direction of the new Java or future Java on zOS, please participate in this survey so we can actually get this is going to be we're going to be taking the feedback and putting it into our plan. So now we wanted to talk a little bit about Python, Go, and Node, right? All these languages are just a straight implementation, right? A full implementation on zOS. So basically, if you have people with Python skills, with Go skills, or with Node skills, they can actually be productive on the Z platform very easily, right? And we wanted to be able to attract new talents to work on zOS. on the Z platform and want to innovate faster because all these languages have a very, very rich ecosystem of packages that you can use and make it work on zOS. And all of them, the price is right because we don't charge license. Some of them have optional SNS. For Python, we now are making it part of the zOS, so we don't. Python doesn't even have any any SNS charges anymore. And all these, if you're using all these languages, you can also take advantage of the no charge C and C++ compiler for open enterprise languages to help you, to basically support the use of these languages, like installing packages, because some packages are actually distributed with C source and things like that, right? So for Python, earlier I talked a little bit about the zOS container platform. Now all Python and Go are enabled on that platform. So basically, you can go to the container registry and download a container image that has Python or Go in it, and then you can actually use it within that image. So basically, your system programmer can create that that container image for you, and then you can actually empower your developers to use it. And then if you don't need it, you can just return it or just delete that thing. Also, I'm not sure whether you have heard about this, but Python workload is now also eligible for to be offloaded to the zip processor. The offloading is up to 70%. The reason is because there's a lot of C involved in Python, and also we have something called the packages that we ship with the compiler, but we actually started to ship some of those packages in something called the Python AI Toolkit as well. And 3.13 is really the same as 3.13 in the open source community. So the new improvements are really improvements to made by the open source community, and we just enable it on the zOS platform. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the Python AI Toolkit. This is Python is very it's really used for data analysis and on the AI and machine learning platform for IBM. So what we did was we actually took 233, I think, packages that are mostly, that are very popular for use for the, for data analysis. And we ported it to the, we enabled it onto the IBM platform. The way that we did it is, right, we actually practice, security by design as well. So every single package is vetted, right, and offered to the customer as no charge. At no charge. So the way that we do it is really, this is not an SMP install all the packages on your system, but when you need it, you can actually use a PyPy, use PyPy to pull down the package you need, so that you can actually use it on your platform. So we will basically, the team is very, is keeping them up to date, and every single package that we release will be vetted, and this entire package is actually made available on a trusted platform that is managed by IBM as well. So I don't think I need this, but for Go, Go is getting very popular. The reason is because it is the only compiled language, so that it performs very well on zOS. And the claim to fame for Go is really portability, right? Go is almost like, Go is the only language that I know of that has guaranteed portability. So basically the latest, the best Go compiler is really the latest compiler, and it's, whatever that you did before is always 100% compatible, right? So you don't have to worry about things changing and breaking your application. But Go has a very, very good guarantee to that. Sorry, that was compatibility. And portability means that it actually runs on multiple platforms. And our implementation, as I said, it's really the same implementation as open source. So it should be able to run on other platforms as well. And performance-wise, it is a compiled language, so it does it will perform better than interpreted language for sure. And then it has garbage collection, it has memory management, so you don't have to worry about getting into trouble with memory and all that. So lately we have added new features to it. We optimized the crypto algorithms on Go for zOS, and we also made it the API. We actually made some APIs that work with the DVM so that you can actually work with data on the platform. And we also made it interoperable with we added interoperability with COBOL. So now 64-bit COBOL can actually work with Go as well, and container as well. So basically, we built the container images, and we're part of the containers image as well. So we know that if we wanted to port some packages over to zOS, we saw a pattern of problems, and therefore we built a tool to automate the porting. So this tool is open source. You can actually go and get it. If you wanted to contribute to it, you're welcome to, and also you can use it to port the packages to to zOS and automate that package, that porting with this tool as well. So Node.js, it is really a new release that we put in to the we release. Basically, it's in sync with the open source community as well. We now use the compression instructions as well for the compression. So we're trying to for these new languages, wherever that's possible that we can exploit the hardware, we will. And this is one of the examples that we do with Node.js. And in terms of usage, we actually see customers working with Kix application. We can look at API orchestration because of its I/O capabilities, and also a lot of co-location that customers are using Node for on zOS as well. So I wanted to tie in the big picture in terms of modernization, right? If you look at the middle there, this is really where your core applications are at, right? So it's written by COBOL, PL1, C and C++, and uses some middleware. But as you extend if you wanted to, work on new application capabilities, now you can actually have, chances, like you have opportunities to work, to use the new languages for it as well. And if you wanted to create new microservices, obviously you'd be using COBOL, you'd be using the new, the new languages. And, and if you wanted to, refactor some of the code and use, and transform some of it to Java using WCA4Z, you can also use that Java interoperability framework. So basically what we're trying to build is that, we don't want you to be confined to the original language, to enhance your application. We give you choices, and all we're focusing on in the compiler point of view is the interoperability aspect of it. Lastly, I want to talk a little bit about the Open Enterprise Foundation. These are Linux tools, right? And a lot of people are very familiar with it. And currently we have about 9 or 10 tools in there, and they are very popular tools that that we're enabling on the system for developers to use for modern development. And we also made a lot of those things shipping with zOS because Python is getting very popular, and it doesn't make sense if IBM tool requires Python and then you have to go and and make customers go and order Python to be able to use the other IBM tool. That's really messy. So what we did is that in the middle of last year, we actually made Python Open Enterprise Foundation and zopen automated automation utility all part of zOS as bypassable requisites, right? So what that means is that if you go and order zOS 3.1, you have a choice to basically select these products, and get them together with zOS. So that makes it very, very convenient for customers to, to order these products. The reason is because the usage is getting high, and there's more dependencies within IBM to use these products as well. The good news out of all this is that the optional SNS is gone. So you can have, if you use these three products, not only that you have zero license charge, but you can also get zero support costs as well. We will support you for free. So that's all I have. Just see if there's any questions here.
One question: will the presentation slides be available?
Absolutely. I'll upload it right after this.
And I would endorse Roland. He's incredibly helpful with us at GS UK and attends the in-person meetings. So I'm sure if you've got questions, then he'd be happy to help if you meet him in a corridor down there at Whittlebury or whatever. So we do have a couple of other topics. I mentioned the Watson Code Assistant. Roland mentioned the COBOL Upgrade Advisor. That's going to be presented. One of them is going to be a customer use case on Watson Code Assistant. The other one's going to be the product team actually presenting this COBOL Upgrade Assistant that was just launched during the Z17 announcement. So it's pretty hot off the press to assist people getting out of their massive COBOL to enterprise COBOL estates. So that was some good points to raise there. Thank you, Roland. Are there any other questions from
So I
anyone?
just want to make a point here, Stuart. We also have two Java sessions here as well.
Oh yeah, sorry, I'd forgotten that. Yep.
Yeah, one on Y upgrade to Samaru 21, and the other one is the flight recorder, which is going to be very exciting.
The flight recorder. Don't know much about it, but it does sound exciting. So we're at time. So thank you very much, Roland. Feedback, please. Everyone loves a bit of feedback on their presentation content, etc. So please repay the time that Roland's put into this by giving him some glowing feedback. That's fabulous. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, Roland.
Thank you.
See you in another meeting sometime. Bye all.
Bye.